Before I begin, some housekeeping matters first. Any questions that you have, you can post them at our Q&A function. At the end of our session today, we will have a short Q&A. Okay, we just give it 1 or 2 minutes before we officially begin. Thanks. Okay, maybe I will start now. Firstly, let me introduce myself first. I'm Shah. I'm the head of department for the PE, Aesthetic and CCA. So today, what I will be sharing on for our town hall will be our DSA for all. How can direct school admission help our students to enter the school of their choice? Let me begin with a flow of the agenda for today. Firstly, I will run through understanding of DSA for all, school support, sharing of our 2021 DSA results, how parents can support, our DSA process and guidelines, and lastly, our Q&A session. Let me begin with an article. This particular article can be found in our Straits Times dated 14th of February. This article was about a 23-year-old Singaporean named Jared Chua. He has been creating animations and comics to explain concepts and phenomena related to space in a simple and entertaining way. His talent was actually spotted by NASA in 2020, after which he was being invited, or he was being paid for his comic strip. Since young, he gravitated towards books on space. He has been doodling on sketchbooks and whiteboards since kindergarten. In Singapore Poly, he took a module on graphic design, and that was when he combined his skills and passion to create space-related comics. Now, he is an undergraduate at the Singapore Institute of Technology. He hopes to publish a children's book soon, and he has received offers to monetize his brand into cartoon series. The reason why I'm sharing this particular article with you will be the fact about talking about discovering your talent. So in this particular case for Jared Chua, from young, he knew that he actually loved or he find space interesting, and that he actually spent time, he was committed to it, and he spent time and effort to develop his strength, and making his strength and talent work for him, even managed to carve out a niche for himself, even in international stage. So with that in mind, talking about talent, let me bring you back to our understanding of DSA for all. Here, DSA allows students to enter secondary school of their choice based on talents beyond academic results. All secondary schools are offering DSA, and hence we want DSA to be accessible to every student, and that they are not fixated only on academic, but also to develop their interests and talents, like what Jared Chua did. So in this particular case, I'd like to just elaborate further. We want to encourage our students to believe that they have another route to enter their choice school besides the traditional academic merit, which is PSLE. This will encourage our students to want to pursue their interests and talents, and if successful, their approach to their PSLE will be less stressful and more enjoyable. So we want our Admiralty students to be able to make better strategic choices to enter the secondary school of their choice, be it via DSA or PSLE. So for this to happen, decision-making process is important. It is at the hands of our students and also you parents, and that we want all of us to be able to make sound choice. Think carefully. If we are able to do that, PSLE will become less high stake for all. Now, what can our students apply for? So they can apply for a wide range of talents. I've listed down here: sports and games, visual, literary and performing arts, debate and public speaking, science, mathematics and engineering, languages and humanities, uniform groups, leaderships, example of prefects, our CCA leaders. it's important to note that if your child is successful and admitted to a secondary school through DSA, they are not allowed to submit their school choices during the secondary one S1 posting, or even ask for a transfer to another school. Let me just elaborate a bit here, because I think we have a number of students who gotten back to us saying that they do not want to commit too early. So the key thing is about understanding that it's not about limiting themselves. It's about holding up to the value system. We want them to be able to fulfill the commitment that the school will have also actually offered when they actually place them a place in the particular school. So okay, I will also elaborate about this a bit more later on. Now, after understanding about DSA for all, the different talent areas, now let's go to school support. So what are we doing as a school in order to help your child to make that particular decision? We have been very deliberate and very intentional in our approach. You can see here is our ECG Google Classroom. This is actually an online platform for us to have conversation with the students as a level, class, or even individuals. We also push out reminders on e-open house, scheduled secondary school talks, and DSA information and info guides here. So we actually we want our students to actually go to this Google Classroom. The information are there. If they have anything they need to have clarity, they can actually refer to all the guides that's been given to them via this particular Google Classroom. Besides having all the resources made available to them, we also have an ECG portfolio for each student. This is where they make their thinking are visible, because here we do not want students to be too fixated with only academic route. So we have milestone checks done for us to understand their thinking and address any misconceptions. The order of choice is important. So an example you can see here, a student's particular ECG portfolio, you can see the choices of school. We expect the students to be aware of his or her academic standing, the course that he or she is aiming or targeting for, and any leadership role or CCA that he or she is having in school. With all this in mind, they are supposed to list down the schools in order of choice, and also asking themselves why they want that particular school, and if they're applying for DSA to the particular school and for which talent area. Okay, so I hope at this present moment you have actually been able to have conversation, or you actually have seen your child's portfolio to have conversation about more of their choices. Now, let me move on to this, talking about DSA. So the question that most people are also asking, is there a cutoff point to enter secondary schools via DSA? Let me just quote an example. Here is Riverside Secondary. The cutoff point for Riverside Secondary to enter Express is 6 to 14. Normal academic is 21 to 23, and normal technical is 25 to 27. So let's just give a simple scenario. Your child applies to Riverside Secondary via DSA and is offered a place. Offer is accepted. After PSLE, your child scores 16 for PSLE. Which course will he or she go to? Let me just pause for a while for you to think about it. Here, I'm showing you the course eligibility table. For a child to enter Express, the score must be from 4 to 20. Express/NA option, 21 to 22. Normal academic, 23, 24. Normal academic, normal tech option will be 25. Normal tech will be 26 to 30. So this is the course eligibility table. So back to our question, a child scores 16. Which course can she go to if she wants to enter Riverside Secondary School? The answer is actually Express stream. As long as he or she meets the eligibility score, he or she will be given that particular stream. Okay. Next, I would just like to share a bit more about our 2021 DSA results. Here, we are proud to say that we had actually 21 students who actually managed to enter their choice school via DSA last year. So we hope that their success can be seen as a motivation for you and even your child to even try DSA and do well. again, to reinforce that they can actually, for DSA, they can actually use their interests, talents, and even leadership to apply for DSA. Okay, now let us look at the schools which our 21 students went to and for which talent area. Just to bring you through, first column, you see the secondary schools. Second column, the talent area. Same goes for the next two columns, secondary school and talent area. So you see that we actually had 2 students entering Ahmad Ibrahim via track and field. So ACSI independent, also track and field, Evergreen leadership, Maristella High archery, Naval Base. We had 3 students entering Naval Base secondary via visual arts, NUS High via academic, Nanyang Girls High via Chinese dance, Raffles Institution via shooting, Riverside, we had 1 via visual art, SOTA, 1 for theatre, St. Margaret's Malay dance, Sembawang leadership, Singapore Sports School, we had 2 for track and field, Woodlands Secondary, we had 2, one is for STEM, the other one is for football, Woodlands Ring, we have 1 for Chinese dance, and Yishun, we have 1 for media. I think when you looked at this, it is good for us to understand that there's a wide range here. DSA doesn't mean only for the elite students or only meant for elite branded school. It's meant for all schools because all schools are offering DSA. So you can see here that for some of our students here, they actually continued with the current CCA. So they wish to develop their particular skill further to help them in their DSA, even help them in secondary school. So so we can see from here, 4 of them out of 21 that were successful, 4 of them entered schools that only accept students via DSA. So schools that such as SOTA, Singapore Sports School, and NUS High. Okay, and out of the 21, 10 of them actually entered their stretch school. What does stretch school means? Here an example here is we had a particular student who actually entered Raffles Institution and Express Stream. We have an AL score of 8 when the cutoff point is actually 4 to 6. So another example, Riverside Secondary for Express, we have an AL score of 17 when the cutoff to enter Riverside Secondary, if based on PSLE scoring, will be around 6 to 14. And we also have one more in an example, Evergreen Secondary for normal ACAD, we have an AL score of 24 when the cutoff point is 21 to 23. Here it goes back to what we've been driving to our students to be able to make use of their interests, their talents, to enter a school of their choice, and to be able to find a good school that fit them, that can push them even further. Now, let me just share a bit more about some of them. Okay, we have this particular student of ours. Her name is Crystal Lee. She's now in Naval Base Secondary School. She DSA for visual art. So in Admiralty, she was actually in Wushu. She has a passion for art, and her talent in art was actually recognized by her art teacher as well. Now, when we got back with Naval Base Secondary School, we know that she's doing well, and she is in the talent development program in Naval Base Secondary. This is a quote from her. She told us that without DSA, I might not be where I am now. I am happy and intend to pursue art for her O-levels. That's for Crystal. You also managed to get hold of Iran Shah, who's currently now in Singapore Sports School. He DSA for track and field. He was our track and field CCA leader. He was also offered a place in Riverside Secondary School where he applied for leadership. That was based on his CCA leadership experience. So you can see here, his comment was that, I wish to pursue my interest in athletics and develop my skills further. And he chose Singapore Sports School because that school provides the right environment for him. Now, we also want to hear from Gareth Lim, who's in Evergreen Secondary School now, who DSA for leadership. Gareth was our English language and drama CCA leader. Now he is given the leadership role of his class chairperson. So he said, when I got the news that I got into Evergreen Secondary School via DSA, it helped to reduce my PSLE stress. I am happy with my decision, and you should give DSA a try too. Next, we hear from Sarah Felicia, who is in St. Margaret Secondary School now. She DSA for Malay dance. She was our Malay dance CCA leader. This is what she said. I'm happy that DSA allowed me to enter a stretch school. I can cope with the academic demand because I know I am a totty and hence I work hard. I am a hobby in dance, and my CCA friends tend to seek my help in their dance routines. So just to elaborate a bit more about here. Actually, for Sarah Felicia, she entered St. Margaret. She scored 18. She scored 19, sorry. She scored 19, and she entered St. Margaret for Express with a cutoff point of 11th. So the question is whether she can cope with the academic demand. So this was what she actually shared with us. And at this present moment, she said she's okay, she's very comfortable, and she's ready to, she's not having any difficulty at this present moment. And this totty hoppy is something that with the school that she remembered the school taught her about. It's okay to be a totty, be a hardworking totty. Now, how can parents support after understanding what the school can, what the school have been supporting your child with in his or her decision making to DSA? Also hearing from the seniors how DSA helped them. Now let's see how parents can support. Okay, here, what we are hoping from you would be, we would hope that you encourage your child to apply for DSA and not to believe that the only way to enter secondary school is via PSLE score. DSA does not mean that academics is not important and that they do not need to study hard for their PSLE. DSA results will be out before PSLE, and if they are successful, it will be less stress for them. So here, I just want to elaborate a bit more here. It is all DSA, it is all about opening another door to enter a school of their choice. So we've been hearing students saying that, oh no, they do not want to enter school via DSA because DSA is cheating. We also do not want to enter via DSA because we only want to enter the school of a choice via academic route. So we want to debunk this. We want you to be able to have conversation with your child as well, to remind them it's about opening another legitimate door to enter a school of their choice. We never say academics is not important. We always want our students to study hard, good brain, good thinking. If they can go to a school, 13-pointer school instead of a 15-pointer school using their interests and talents, why not? A better environment for them to flourish. But we also must bear in mind as parents that it's not about choosing a school that will add stress to our students. They must also be able, like what Sarah said, they must also be able to cope with the academic demand of that particular school. Let's give a more embracing signals to all our children. Good in studies, go for it, or go ahead if PSL is for you. If you're good in your CCA, your games, your sports, you can also DSA, but make sure that the school is for you. All right. Next, we hope that you can actually affirm your child that his or her interests and talents need to be committed and cultivated. It is about the connection with their own inner self. And it's not always about being the best or most talented, but to be able to make their talent, their strength, and their uniqueness to their advantage. Here, interest, we need to, because we've been hearing students telling us that, oh, I got no talent. Oh, I got no interest. I do not want to commit. Or so we also have students telling us that. So basically, we need them to also understand that interest is not fixed, but it shouldn't be about their whims and fancy. It shouldn't be keep changing and changing and changing. They need to ask themselves, what are the parts that are not changing, that are invariant? In Admiralty, we have spent years getting them to explore through PAL, through their CCA from P3 to P6. And if they wish to pursue that interest further in secondary school, they will have an edge over others. If they want a change, they need to ask themselves what skills and values that they have learned that will put them in a good position to be successful. If you can remember the story about Crystal, she was in Wushu, but she wanted to pursue art in her secondary school. Okay? So think about that. Next, also to be able to have conversation with your children to get them to understand that there is no harm in committing to a CCA or even a DSA school early. Having one CCA should not limit your children. Opportunities will be available for them to explore more at their own time. You never know Some secondary school might offer them 2 CCA, but they need to also understand themselves that CCA in secondary school is compulsory and they can get CCA points. So what is the harm? Some students, when they ask me, they do not want to do it, right? So my question back to them was, why is it that they do not want to commit? What is so wrong about committing to a CCA or to a school that is of your choice? So something for them to think about. Can? Next, I'd just like to go through some DSA process and guidelines. You can see here, we've been having conversation with our students from last year, our P5, P6. We have been having our talks with them. So from January to May, it's time for us to actually explore. You can actually visit the MOE website for information on DSA. Visit secondary school websites to learn more about what they have on offer, what's the criteria, what's their expectation, what they are looking out for. Then in Admiralty, we'll be having our form teachers, our CCA teachers, we've been engaging your children in DSA conversations to better guide them in ensuring their choices are a good fit. So we have been refining, we have been talking to them, we have been telling them it is actually a journey, all right? So in mid-May to early June, that's where application will happen, will start. When this opens, parents are to log in directly to DSA secondary portal to apply. Students have 3 choices. Can do bear in mind that for SOTA and sports schools, I think application is already open. We already inform the students via Google Classroom. I think we also inform parents via Parent Gateway, and you have to approach them directly. Okay, for 3 choices, please bear in mind that they can actually choose maximum of 2 talent area for 1 school. So there's some certain things that certain parents are also asking us. Okay, then July to mid-September, that's where the selection process will happen. Here, you'll be invited, your child will be invited to attend interviews, audition, trials via e-modes. Then the outcome of confirmed, there'll be outcome. There's either a confirmed offer or wait list or unsuccessful. You'll be known by mid-Sep. So this one will depend on the secondary school that your child is applying for. In October, this is where the school preference submission happens. So if your child receives at least 1 DSA offer, you will need to log into the portal to submit your school preference. If 1 is 1, if you have more than 1, you need to decide which is your first choice, second choice, and third choice, and so on. So amendments or withdrawal will not be allowed after this exercise, and offers not taken up will be considered as lapsed. So please do take note. And November, this is where the allocation results release. So DSA, successful DSA secondary successful applicants are not allowed to participate in the S1 posting. So they cannot transfer and they are expected to honor the commitment. I believe the only exception to this will be those who actually applied to Singapore Sports School. They still need to participate in the S1 posting. There's more information about that in Sports School's website. Okay. And they will actually revert directly to you if your child is being offered a place in Singapore Sports School. Next, just to share some important dates for us, all of us to take note. We have actually arranged DSA talk for our student. We know that Evergreen and Riverside Secondary School are quite a popular choice among our students. So we actually arranged for talks happening on Thursday from 10 to 10:20. For Evergreen, we are still waiting for confirmation, but most likely it will happen on the 12th of May. Riverside Secondary is already confirmed. It's going to happen on 26th of May. So we will let you know of the link so that you can actually join us if you can. It's already out. I already checked the DSA website in MOE. Application is already open. Not open. News is already out. It's confirmed that application will start from 5th of May, 11 a.m. to 1st of June, 3 p.m. As mentioned just now, you need to apply online via the DSA secondary portal. Selection will start from June to September. Most likely, we will still resume via e-interview, e-audition, or e-trial, and it will be done in Admiralty Primary. Unless there's any changes, we will also alert you and your children and your child. Before that, we just like to share also that you can actually refer to our school website. You can actually refer to our school website. If you go to our Admiralty website, there is under program, we also have certain information on DSA that you can actually read through, and also have our frequently asked questions being posted up in that particular website. Okay, with that, I've ended. Then maybe, is there any Q&A from anyone? Sorry, yeah. Oh, okay. I think the first one is by Inshira. If I can address that first. Okay, next one. So all interview will be done in Admiralty Primary School. The answer is yes. So at this present moment, if we base on last year's arrangement, it will be done in Admiralty Primary. We will provide them with the necessary space, necessary location for them to have their interview being done in a very conducive manner. Okay. Next thing, can we request teachers to write recommendation letters now? I think if you look at the, I also put it up in our frequently asked question in the website. There's no need for any submission of any hard copy documents, even testimonials. Later on, when the application opens, when you go to the DSA website, you realize that you only need to choose three choices that you intend to apply for, and for which talent area. Okay, so there is no need for submit hard copy documents. Next, will school return the report book for us to make a copy for DSA application? Like I've mentioned, there is no need to submit any documents to them, so there is no need for you to have a copy of the report book. But in the event that you are being required, because the school might contacted you directly, an example can be SOTA or Singapore Sports School, and require certain information, just let the form teacher know and we will gladly help you along. Okay. Next question. Okay, Mr. Pig is answering that question. Next one. How to prepare for DSA submission if my child is using leadership or even visual art? Okay, how to prepare for submission? Again, I think you need to be able to refer to the school website. So the secondary school itself will actually list down their criteria and their expectation. So that they have certain requirements for a kid to be able to submit or to be able to produce or to show during the interview itself. The one you need to go to the secondary school website. On our end, what we can do is we can help to prepare your kids in terms of some basic way to prepare themselves for interviews, which is going to be a life skill for them. Okay. For visual art, sorry, just go back. Visual art, they are required to submit a portfolio, but it's also based on their art curriculum. So they can choose to submit any of the art piece that they have done in Admiralty Primary. Okay, next question here is this. Okay, Andrew is answering that. So I'll go on to the next question. How about SST DSA? No information can be found. Any information to share? SST is Singapore Science and Technology School. Okay, I think for that, let me check on that again. But SST is also another school that only accepts via DSA. So again, you need to check their school website. Let us check on our end whether any information has already been up. But I believe all secondary school by now, they should have information up on their website. Okay. Next, here, how do we know if your child is good at his or her CCA? Will CCA tell us? Okay, I think again, we've been hearing this from students as well. And one thing that I've been asking them would be, they might not be the best. So again, we've been telling them to want to improve, to do better, but they might not. I give a simple example. They might not be the best footballer in that particular CCA, but that shouldn't stop him or her from applying this DSA. So he or that particular child needs to understand, need to be more self-aware of the quality of that he possesses, the talent that he possesses, and make use of that to his advantage. An example can be, if he's aware of what that secondary school that he's aiming for is looking out for, then he or she can prepare himself or herself to be able to do well and meet what is being required, and even go beyond so that he or she is being selected. There is no one size fits all. Another example can be whether I'm good or not. So a clear cut can be whether, are you representing the school? Are you in the school team or not? Do you get any achievement? Those are some indicators that can tell you whether you're okay or not. The next thing will be, I told some this to some of my students. I said, they told me that they're interested to play badminton. They want to go badminton DSA. So I asked them, hey, you go to YouTube, you can watch a lot of NSG games on badminton. So look at how they play. Are you able to match up or not? So if you kind of see, so you kind of be able to see where you are at. So should you even apply or not? If it's not one for you, then they might want to ask themselves, okay, is there another option for themselves? Okay, I hope that answers that particular question. Next, my child just joined the prefect team this year. Is there any chance? Of course. So I think that the key thing is for the child to note that what is his or her experience like this particular year? What are the platform that he or she's been given? Then when he or she goes for interview, they must be able to answer and articulate how his or her leadership experience been like. Besides policing, besides monitoring, besides helping out, is there any project that he or she did here in Admiralty that can showcase their leadership potential to the people that is to the secondary school itself? Okay. Now, next question. For interview, will teachers help students or pupils to prepare for it? I think as mentioned, we don't really prepare them for that particular, but we prepare everyone. So basically what we're going to do this particular year is during one of our ECG lesson, we'll be teaching kids about interviews. So we'll be teaching, we'll sort of helping them to prepare, okay, these are the certain common questions that are being asked during DSA. So how they can prepare themselves, be it whether they're going for DSA or not, it is a learning lesson for everyone when they go forward in their life. Can that's for interview. Yes. So I think more importantly also, I think certain CCAs, they also have being able to collect certain examples of past questions, which they can actually also share with the particular students to help them even further. Okay. So I hope that question will also answer the next question, which is how to prepare for interview. Okay. I think in basic, if you're asking me right now to parents and students who are listening, the first thing you need to do is you need to actually know the school that you are applying for. Go and read the school website. Go and understand about the school values, school, what you're getting yourself into, and how you can contribute if you are being selected to be part of the particular school. Then keep a lookout of what they're looking out for. So those are some schools will post videos that they're asking you to practice so that you can showcase during the actual interview itself. So be mindful of them and prepare yourself well. Next, next question will be, okay, Mr. P is answering. Next one, I can answer this one. Is UG group, UG and leadership under the same category? I think UGs and leadership, it depends on the school itself, what kind of DSA talent area that they're offering. But nevertheless, we need to ask that particular child, what is it that he or she is going for? So, and what is it that he or she can make use of his or her experience or achievement to apply for? So if you wish to make use of your CCA leadership to apply to a school for leadership, by all means, please do. If you're a class leader, you're a PE leader, the CCA leader, science leader. So more importantly is, we need to ask our child is that during this year that they are in school, how have they been influencing others? How have they been using that platform to better themselves, better their leadership skill? Okay. Next, any criteria for parents to make pre-assessment for a successful DSA? Any criteria to make pre-assessment for a successful DSA? I think if I go back to this understanding that have conversation with your child, and maybe the best is to look at his or her online portfolio. Then you are able to understand the choices that your child is making. So I think if you be hearing from us from PAL, CCA, we have been advocating students' voice. So maybe you want to hear from them if they choose that particular school, why for that particular school? Is it because they feel that they are adequate? They have they have the relevant skills, the experience to put them in a very good position to be successful in his or her application. So we want, maybe you can have that conversation with them first. Because we do not want to keep asking them why is it, and they say it was because of it was very near. So we do not want that to happen at this present moment. Their thinking is supposed to be sharper. It's supposed to be more refined by now. Okay. Next, can form teacher give any recommendations of the band for my kids' academic results? And okay, this one, if you're asking me which, okay, the cutoff points for secondary school is kind of stable. It's not too far. It doesn't change too much every single year. So I think if you go to MOE website, you are able to see the cutoff points for school. And again, if you have conversation with your child, go and look at their online portfolio. They're supposed to indicate their academic scoring. So based on P5 last year, where they are at. And if I can just share, in our school, if you look at past trend data, so the score that they get don't tend to change too much. They might do better in PSL by 1 or 2, but it's not that, it's quite stable. So if they are able to use the academic standing at this present moment and make the right choice and make the choices for themselves, then I think it's a good way to approach their thinking and their application. Even after DSA, once DSA result is out and they are not successful, they can refine their choice further. If they're telling mommy, daddy, I want to go to that school still, then my advice to them would be, if you're willing to go to that school still, and it is a stretch school for you, you must be willing to work hard. Or if not, if I can say, work harder. Can? Next. How do we prepare kids for the assessment that they have to do for applying? Okay, this one, I do hope that you have actually attended the talk by NUS High this week on the 19th. We had a talk by NUS High. So that will give you a better, if you have not done it or didn't go, you can actually look at the school website for information. All right. Can we still make changes to the ECG file? Again, as mentioned, it is a journey. It is not a submission. So we've been telling students it is a Google, if I'm not wrong, it's a Google Excel. So you can go into the particular file, make your refinement. I believe the form teachers will actually go through certain samples or certain portfolios, and the learning from that you glean from it, you're supposed to make refinements to your own plans. All right. Next, for DSA, must the 3 choices be in order? No, this one it's okay. To answer Adina's question, I think it's okay. Just make sure that your 3 choices are there. But in any case, if I'm you, if first choice, second choice, third choice, just put it according to your preference lah. So it's easier for you to also understand. But the key thing is this. I think if I can advise to every student who's here or parents to as you talk to the kids, when they go for interview, they should know the school that they're going for. They should sound that they want and they are eager to enter to the school, and not to say that you do not know why they are there in the first place. Okay. Next question. Okay. Is there any more question that? And okay. Can we put 2 choices only? If you ask me whether you can put 2 choices, my answer is yes, you can. You can, but it's up to you. It is ultimately still up to you. If you want to put 1 choice, also it's up to you. But again, I go back to ask again, what is it? I'm just saying an example. If you say that, oh, I want to go via leadership, I'm sure there is more than one school that offer leadership. And the next thing is, you know that even if you're not successful for DSA, your secondary school posting, you need to have 6 choices. And I'm sure that you want to go to either one of these 6 choices. So why limit yourself to 1 or 2 only? But ultimately, again, it's back to you. It's back to your own choice. Next thing is this. Okay, is if the PSLE AL scoring result is over, the allowed AL results of the secondary school, but doesn't has this. Let me understand it again. Sorry. Okay. Okay. If you can, I think the slide will be shared. If you refer to my slides again on the Riverside scenario that I post, Your admission to the school, if you are successful for DSA, is via your course eligibility. So like example, just now at the Riverside, you score 16 for PSLE, but the cutoff point is actually 14 because your 16 is within the band for express eligibility. You'll be posted to that particular school for the express stream. And then we also remind you that making sure that the school that you are going for is not going to add more stress. Okay? The academic demand must also be mindful of that. Next will be, who is expected to lead the child or the parents? Okay, good question here. If I can answer, my answer will be child. Make sure that your child's voice is being heard. So because the key thing I'm saying is this, you must hear from them why they are choosing that particular talent area, which school they want to go to, why they want to go to that particular school. Then do they have what it takes to be successful for the DSA application? I just like to share a bit. I've also heard, or I also had encountered incidents whereby students go for DSA application. When I asked them why, they told me because my father wants me to go. And true enough, he didn't have the substance to understand why he is there, or even to do well to be accepted to that particular school. So do listen them out. Then your job, or our job as adults, is to be able to give them advice so that they're able to refine their thinking further. Can? Next, okay. Question is being answered. Right. Okay, on the MOE website, it shows two different filter fields. There is admission type, DSA another. Okay, if you look at that, to answer this, okay, just so that everybody is aware of, a question here says that if you go to the MOE website, you will see admission type, DSA, talent areas / integrated program, and another one named CCA. CCA, when you click on that, it would show you the list of CCA that's on offer by that particular school. But that doesn't mean that school offers DSA through that particular CCA or every CCA. They have certain CCAs only, or programs that they offer DSA for. So need to check that, right? Okay. Is there any more questions from anyone? Open question. Open question. What done, Riza? Sorry, I think we have a bit more time. If there's any question that you want further clarification, please do so. Meanwhile, as we are waiting for a few more questions, or as you're thinking about it, again, visit our school website. You have more information there. Then you can also visit MOE website, DSA website, the secondary school website. You can also go to our Admiralty YouTube account. You can see our past town hall sessions on DSA or secondary school choices. We also uploaded videos by our past students, giving tips to our students on how to prepare for interview. So all those can be found in our official school YouTube account as well. Ken? So I'll give a bit of wait time for any more questions to come in. Okay, appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Where is the YouTube account? YouTube channel is our Admiralty YouTube account. We have one YouTube account. You go to YouTube account, you press you type in Admiralty Primary, you'll be able to find. That's where all the Toti Hoppy videos also there. Promoting, Okay. Anything else? Okay. This question come in, does the DSA school has access to current students' results and activities? Yes. Secondary school, they have, and they will check via school cockpit. So they will have all that particular information that they need. That is why there is no need to submit any testimonials or any hard copy. I think in the application, you will see that if your child has been involved, I just elaborate further, if your child has been involved in any external things that you're doing on your own, then you can attach that along, or you can type that in. But other than that, anything to do with school, we will have it in school cockpit, and they can have access to it direct. Okay. I just like to also alert that I think it's also important for us to understand that character also plays a very important role. So for a child, their conduct grade. So we need to be able to talk to our child. That it's important for them to be aware of the learning disposition, be aware of how they should carry themselves. So those are simple things that when they go for interview, they cannot hide. So from the way they face the interviewer, the way they greet, the way they talk, the way they present. So those are important. All right. Okay. My child, next one. Uh, okay, Andrew's asking next. Okay, next one. If all 3 schools have accepted the offer, we will get to choose which one. Yes. I think if you look at the list, I think the timeline that I showed, there's one on school submission preference. So if you've gotten 3 offers from the school, you can choose first choice, second choice, and third choice, which school that you actually want. That is where you will actually see the one that the case on Aransha. He was being offered to, I think he for Aryansha, I didn't indicate down there, but he was being offered by Singapore Sports School. He was being offered to Riverside Secondary. He was also being offered to Ahmad Ibrahim. But ultimately, his first choice is actually sports school. Why? Because he wanted the right school, the right environment to allow him to pursue athletics further. Okay. So we're still waiting for any more questions to come in. We still have some time. Okay, I think since I've been encouraging all parents or even students who are here to actually show your online portfolio to your parents to have discussion. If you, after that conversation, if you have any doubts further that you want to be cleared or clarified, feel free to approach your form teachers. The form teachers will be able to reply, or even the CCA teachers, or even you can even get hold of myself directly. Okay. I think there's this particular question that comes in that for Innovation Club, there's only one school for the DSA. I think again, to that particular question, if I can answer, do look out first or what schools are offering, and at the same time, can ask that particular child what other, how that the learning in Innovation Club, the skills, the values, things that's been taught that can help him or her transfer to another CCA that he or she wish to pursue further in secondary school. If you can remember the story of Crystal, who was in Wushu, but decided to do art for naval base and even go pursue further for O levels. So that's also an example to ask our kids about certain transferable skills that they can bring them to apply to for DSA lah. Okay. Okay, I'm waiting for any more questions from anyone. If not, if there's no more question, like I said, you can get back to us after this. But if there's nothing else, we'd like to take our leave. With that, we'll say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your question. We hope that this session managed to answer certain doubts that you have. Once again, thank you. We'll see you around.